Hello everyone, my name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk a little bit about the Chicago Bulls and their schedule that they recently announced. Now, for the sake of actually you guys going to the Chicago Bulls accounts and viewing the photos yourself, viewing the schedule yourself, I'm not actually going to post any videos or photos of the Chicago Bulls schedule here, just because I don't think it's the right thing to do. Feel free to check out their own social media platforms and find it yourself. But I want to talk about the schedule, I guess the difficult parts of the schedule, maybe a little bit of the easier parts of the schedule, and also the NBA Cup games that was announced a few days before this, which I think, in my opinion, gives us a real shot at it to try to advance at least beyond the bracket stage, which is where we've been eliminated the last two times. So with that being said, let's talk about the schedule in this video. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know what you guys think about the Chicago Bulls and their upcoming schedule. Do you think it's a bit unfair? Do you think it's more balanced than right? Or do you think that no matter what the schedule is, the Bulls are going to be in the same place, and that is probably in that play-in tournament spot? With that being said, let's get started. Firstly, I have a bone to pick with some Bulls fans here, because everywhere I have seen that posts the Chicago Bulls schedule in the comments has been filled with negativity. All negativity. Trash about everything's trash, apparently. Nothing is good when it comes to the Chicago Bulls. And look, I am a little bit more on the positive side, as per usual, especially at this time when you're kind of excited to see your team play again. But man, I think we need to line up just a little bit. I understand, we're not always in the best situation, and I understand we're probably in for another season of mediocrity. I get all of that, but it doesn't mean there's nothing to look forward to. And speaking of, the month that I'm most looking forward to is actually going to be the start of the season, and that is around the October and November months. The reason why I'm excited for this stretch, not only is it because it's the beginning. I mean, our first couple of games is against Detroit and Orlando, two of the best teams in the East at the moment. You go to the month of November, you got games against Denver, you got games against Milwaukee and Cleveland, you got games against the Indiana Pacers, who are in the NBA Finals. But this might be the hardest stretch of the season, and it's at the very beginning. And I like this for two reasons. The first reason is not everybody's going to have their foundation set at the beginning, as are the Bulls. They're not going to have their foundation set at the very beginning. But this gives us the chance to pick up victories against teams, difficult teams, that you might not be able to pick up at the end of the season when everybody's kind of set in their place and everybody knows what type of team they are. And to me, that's important, because I do think having a good start to the season means a lot. And I do think that momentum can carry over. So you could pick up victories against Detroit or Orlando or, the Denver Nuggets. These teams that are naturally good teams that have great players earlier than maybe you'd expect. That is a great addition to have, because every win matters. And at the very beginning, you could get wins that you don't expect to get. And I think that does matter if you're trying to get to a playoff push. But the second is, this is the biggest challenge for us. Let's just say all these teams do have their foundation set. I want to see how the Bulls face these good teams, these great teams, some of the best teams in the NBA. I want to see how they face it, because we are in the land of unknown once again. Yeah, we're in the middle, but this team is young, and there's potential for this team to grow throughout the season and for future seasons. How they're going to fare against the best teams in the NBA right now, because there could be a lot of great signs shown even in losses against the best teams in the league. So I'm excited for that. I'm super stoked to have a hard start to the season, but in the end, it could also come crashing down. We could ultimately have the worst start you could possibly imagine, and then the world-ending Bulls fans will come, and they'll be ready for this moment. So it really is what side of the coin you're on, but I'm looking forward to seeing what challenges may arise in that, I guess, difficult start to the season. I think our easiest run is going to be in the month of February. I think February is going to be our easiest month. We got Milwaukee, we got Miami, we got Milwaukee, we got Toronto, we got Brooklyn, we've got the Charlotte Hornets, the Portland Trailblazers. There's a lot of games that I would classify as winnable. We also have almost half the month as our home game. So we should be having a good run in the month of February. And of course, the All-Star break is in between there as well, which is always exciting. So that brings me a little bit of hope in that regard that, okay, maybe the Bulls have a sucky start to the season. Well, maybe they can finish the season strong and make something out of the season. That could be a direction we go down as well. So yeah, the easier months, I would say, is February and just in general towards the end of the season. So rough start, easier finish. That doesn't always mean what you expect it to mean. It doesn't always mean you're going to have the best end to the season and the worst start. It could be the opposite. The Bulls could show that we had this with Lonzo and Vucevic and DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, that team. We had a great start to the year. Injuries came piling down and kind of got exposed a little bit. Had a very rough end to the season. It is very possible to have a good start and a bad finish. So again, maintaining consistency and balance within the team is going to be very important in the months of February, March, and April. And of course, we should talk about the NBA Cup. We are in it, ladies and gentlemen, and I do think there is a chance we could, I wouldn't say win it, but advance this time around. So our first game is against the New York Knicks. I mean, New York it's New York. You know, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals for a reason. They're going to be the hardest team to beat in our conference, and I don't expect to get many victories from them. We also got the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, this is interesting because I do think we could beat the Milwaukee Bucks. There will be more of a challenge, in my opinion, this year than previous years. Yes, they still have Giannis. They have Miles Turner now, but I don't think they have the superior guard play. And ultimately, if we keep Vucevic around, I do think we could have we could have a say in this game. We could make this game our own if we need to be. Unfortunately, it's away from home, but we do have many Bulls fans that go to Milwaukee to support. The location isn't too far away from Chicago. So I could really see this as a very viable game we could win. I'm not saying we're going to win it, but it's a viable game. But then we've got Miami at home. Now, you can talk about the play-in tournament all you like because we never beat Miami in the play-in tournament. I think we lost like 2 years in a row, 3 years in a row maybe. It's embarrassing how many times we lose to Miami in the play-in tournament. But in the regular season, we have our fair share of wins against them. You know, we play well against them in the regular season for some reason. Maybe that could translate over into the NBA Cup. Obviously, it's a different look Miami Heat team now, but still, it's a very respectable team. It's a team we could beat. It's also a team we could lose to. And then Charlotte, I don't really know what to make of Charlotte. I just think they're not going to be good this season as they've not been good for many seasons. And that's a winnable game. I mean, there's a chance we could finish first, but I feel like if New York is facing all these teams as well, they're going to beat all of them. So there's a chance here, ladies and gentlemen, for the NBA Cup. I mean, who knows? Do you like the sound of Chicago Bulls NBA Cup champions or whatever it's called? I mean, in-season tournament champions or whatever it's called. Do you like the sound of that? Look, if there's a will, there's a way. All we need to do is advance in that cup phase, in that tournament bracket phase. That's what we need to do. We need to advance in that phase, and then all bets are off. Any team can win from there. It's elimination and stuff of that nature. So, may the best team win, or maybe we go out again. I'll see you guys in the next one, though. Hopefully you enjoyed the schedule. It is just a schedule at the end of the day. I mean, it really comes down to 82 games. You're facing the same teams the same amount of times every year. So it really comes... Sure, the schedule does matter, but it's not the biggest thing. On the court, each and every single night, that matters more. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care. And peace.